So as I mentioned, dual processing, that is absolutely a business building behavior. We are simultaneously paying attention to the dynamic of how something is being said, but also processing the information that is being presented to us, that data. Data and dynamic. When we can really see things, take the in the weeds, what's going on perspective, and then simultaneously take a higher view and finding out the dynamic, the emotions behind what people are saying, and pay attention to those things, it's going to make it much easier for us to recognize the difference between business building and brilliance killing behavior. We are emotional creatures. It's been said the easiest way to make an intelligent person dumb is to get them emotional. So when we think about that, we do our best work when we're emotionally engaged, and we disengage when we're emotional as well. So really, as leaders, we are tasked with orchestrating their emotions and keeping them in what we call a psychologically safe environment. Psychologically safe means it doesn't have to be perfect. It just means they have to feel valued. They have to have the opportunity to contribute, that they matter, and that they're supported, right? It doesn't have to be perfect in utopian society. There's going to be some ugliness in there, and we're going to be prepared for that. Work is emotional, especially when you do meaningful work. So if we find ourselves doing meaningful work that the world needs, chances are people are going to take that pretty personally. So it becomes even more important to dual process. So I like to break it down very simple without going through, a whole emotional intelligence workshop. A real quick way to distinguish and read people emotions is what I like to call red and green. Red would be in an emotionally unhealthy place, so maybe they're angry, they're fearful, they're sad, they're disengaged, right? There's behaviors that are associated with that. And then there's green. Green would be a joyful, focused, single-minded, happy, engaged place. So a very simple system that I leverage that is incredibly easy to implement, what would be called a red-green emotional intelligence system. Now, if you think of the movie Inside Out, they had 5 different characters. That was actually produced by a really incredible psychologist that studied human emotions for many, many years, expert on the area, and they came up with the 5 emotions that mattered most. So there was joy, fear, anger, sadness, and disgust. Right? So when we think about the emotions that we all possess, if we just use that simple kind of framework of those 5 emotions and then associate, behaviors in the workplace that can be associated with each emotion, then we can get really clear on what behavior would be red that keeps us from being productive, or red is stop, or green. Green is go and we're productive and adding value. Red, green, what emotions associate with what. Now, when we see certain behaviors in the workplace, they trigger us, right? Oh, this is what engagement, adding the most value looks like, these behaviors, that's the green behaviors. Here's what unhealthy, disengaged, fearful, disgusting, angry behavior looks like, right? If somebody's disgusted in the workplace, what does that look like? Somebody's sad in the workplace, what does that look like? Somebody's angry in the workplace, what does that look like? If somebody's joyful in the workplace, what does that look like? So as you work through this section, you're going to identify and get really clear on different behaviors and associate them with different emotions. And then we can really start looking at this red-green system and make it work for us.